Hi, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblen, the CEO and president of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with another one of our Zoom chats, uplifting and highlighting our member businesses and our organizations. And today I have with us the one and only Lorenzo Alba Jr., who is the executive director of Casa de Peregrinos. Lorenzo, we've seen each other a couple of times in person, but it's so lovely to see you again in kind of a little bit of a more relaxed atmosphere for at least this time, for at least the next 10 minutes, right?
Oh, Carrie, thank you for having me on your awesome little show that you have going on here for the Green Chamber. I appreciate the time that you take to do these, and I think they've been a big hit so far. I've seen a few of them, and it's been a really cool thing. So we're excited to be on today.
Absolutely. I love it that it's become a member benefit. And it really, like a lot of us, and we'll talk about this, is really kind of pivoting during the pandemic and ways that we can help our member businesses. So I'm glad that you're enjoying the Zoom chats and that, it's an opportunity for us to uplift you. And you've got a big event that is coming up on Thursday night. But before we get to that, and so we're just going to kind of tease that a little bit, you, along with so many organizations during the pandemic, had to really kind of pivot and change what you were doing. And, we saw more folks need assistance due to unemployment and housing. And so how did you see that affect what you were doing at Casa de Peregrinos, and how did you and the staff modify what you were doing? Because you're on a campus that has a lot of folks who are extremely at risk. So tell us about what you did.
I think that the initial reaction was complete shock by our staff. I mean, we're just kind of like looking at each other. What are we going to do? We met. The initial thought was to go into recovery mode right away. Like right away, as a nonprofit, you want to safeguard what you have, especially when it comes to the funding that you have. So the thought was, we got to go into recovery mode. We lost 100% of our volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make some decisions. Within about a week, we made a decision to hire some temporary employees who are now full-time employees here now, which is awesome. But we had to do that, and our staff is so resourceful. We were able to pull off a game plan to be able to not really change or get rid of any of the programs, but basically modify how we do them and begin to move forward. The nice part about what happened during that time is that we got a lot of support from the city of Las Cruces, our friends over there, big supporters of what we do. Doña Ana County, same thing. They came through. They were very helpful with the process of funding and trying to get us through this whole situation. The funding came afterwards, but initially it was scary. One of the highlights I will tell you about the pandemic is that it put a big spotlight on food insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Huge spotlight on it, which I think that spotlight should have been on food insecurity here in our state a long time ago.
Yeah.
But now it was inevitable. People had to know what was actually going on with food insecurity in their areas because it was right in front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
And we made the best of that situation by making sure we were very aggressive on the social networks, digitally online, on the radio, all these mediums of media that we were already using. We just got super aggressive and really got the word out about what was happening at our pantries and what funding we needed, the things that we needed. And this community, as always, and I love to brag about this, one of the most generous communities I've ever been a part of. I brag about Las Cruces because if they can support this many nonprofits and this many causes and give each other a hand up all the time, it's something to brag about.
It's something to brag about. So yeah, and it's something
I'm very proud.
Absolutely. I think there are many of us who are in the recipient, position of that. And just it's kind of overwhelming and very emotional on how giving this community is, especially to those in need. And I'm wondering, did you see an increase though with folks who are needing help with food during the pandemic?
We did, and it was different than before because we were getting folks that had been working and taking care of their families.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting folks that maybe they had 2 jobs and now they only had 1 to make ends meet, and they needed the additional help. One of the things that really moved me was I met a man. He came over one day, and I was outside just kind of talking to people, and he just kind of looked like, wow, I'm here. Not like a shamed look, but more like they're gonna help me,
Yeah.
like very grateful. And so I asked him, what's going on? What happened? He says, well, I work in a restaurant. He goes, that's where I really make my good money.
Mm-hmm.
But my supplemental money, I'm actually a substitute teacher. And because there's such a shortage of teachers, I am always working as a substitute teacher. So I'm able to support my family this way, with these two jobs. I can schedule my restaurant work around my substitute teacher job. So, and now they both went away. He said, I didn't know what to do. He goes, I have kids, I have a wife at home. I've been very blessed that my wife could stay home and take care of our kids this way with me working these two jobs. But now this is it. This is all I got. Because and oh man, it moved me to no end, just having that conversation with him. But his conversation also led me to believe that he was very hopeful.
Mm.
And that gave me hope that we were going to be able to kind of move it all forward during this difficult time for the families. It was something that I shared with my staff. We were able to really dig deep within ourselves and make sure that we just kept this going.
Yeah.
Just kept this going. And of course, we had to, in my first month, we had a positive test, and it was very public. It got all over the media, which was strange. I was like, okay, the Department of Health, the Mexico Department of Health was so unbelievably awesome. John Kutnick and his team here locally were just rock stars in helping us through the process of getting that done. Trying to get everybody vaccinated, and we did everything the right way. And we haven't changed anything we do. We're giving people the options of masks right now, Carrie. But other than that, our cleaning processes are still the same. We're still trying to keep people distance as much as we can. We're still doing drive-up pantries at the rural pantries. We're doing things to try to keep people safe, even during this aftermath of the pandemic.
Well, it sounds like that, like I think a lot of businesses and organizations have really, some of the things that were kind of forced upon, out of just safety and being precaution, and also like really kind of worrying about your organization and just how your organization can keep functioning, that a lot of us have adapted things that were part of the pandemic, but now we're like, oh, okay, kind of makes sense. It seems to work.
I think so. I think, even with everybody knows we're in the midst of building a brand new building, thanks to the New Mexico State Legislature capital outlay program with the city of Las Cruces. And I can tell you that we immediately thought of using that word that you like to use, pivot. We pivoted,
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
pivoted, and let me tell you what, we redesigned an area to put a drive-up pantry on it.
Oh, that's great.
So the brand new building is going to have you'll have the option to sign up online and set up an appointment to come pick up your food box through a drive up. So we are prepared now. If anything ever like this ever happens, we're prepared to run the entire operation through the drive up.
Yeah.
And it's just it was a smart thing for us to do. We added that to the design. We caught it in a perfect time to add it to the design. So it worked nicely. It's going to be an unbelievable operational move on our part. That's going to end up in the long run. It's going to save us a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a nonprofit, that we have to be good stewards of the funding that we receive. So this is one way of showing that.
Well, so many, one of the things that, we've learned a lot of things as a result of the pandemic, but, just catastrophic planning is really crucial to the sustainability of a business or an organization. And that's, what you've started thinking about as well. And, being good stewards of the money that is donated to you, that is allocated to you. One of the things that you've got coming up as we finish up the Zoom conversation is, you have your Red, White, and Barbecue event on Thursday. You're really good at bringing people together and really sharing what the cause is and the return on investment from people, in terms of helping people have access to food. And so with this barbecue, what can people expect? Because it's at Hacienda de Mesilla.
It is, and it's an event that is a collaboration between PTS Office Systems, Kevin Horner, and our friends over at Adams Radio, and of course, the good people over at Hacienda de Mesilla, who are always so giving. I will tell you this much, bringing businesses together with a nonprofit for a good cause is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good thing. But my favorite part about this event is that it's food bringing people together. God, that's one of my favorite things to do. It's like having a meal with someone, having a great conversation. But now you can do it, prepare for the 4th of July weekend at the same time. But more than anything is bring some funds in for Casa Peregrinos. And tickets are available still. You can buy tickets all the way till tomorrow, actually. You can give the folks at Hacienda a call at 575-652-4953. There's some fantastic food that's going to be. The chef there just put together a menu like nobody's business. We've got, I'm going to tell you what's on the menu. It's Hacienda coleslaw, mini corn on the cob, black beans. Here's my favorite one: red chili honey glazed ribs.
Ooh.
Now you're adding the whole New Mexico thing to the barbecue.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. Barbecue chicken, and of course some rolls. And then of course for dessert, the All-American strawberry shortcake.
There you go.
You can still, like I said, buy yourself a seat. Call that number that I just mentioned.
And we'll have that number in the text, all depending on how you're looking at it. We'll have that number for folks so that they don't have to rewind in this video and go back and listen to you.
Yeah.
And
like I said, we're gonna have a silent auction as well. We'll have a few items there for auction. We hope we get quite a few people out there. I know it's tough because we're coming on a long weekend, but dig deep in your pockets and remember that it's going for a great cause at Casa Peregrinos. You're going to help us feed some folks. And if you kind of put it into perspective, you get to go over there for $65 that you could basically donate to a cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you put that into some sort of perspective, every dollar that you just put into that, we're talking about 6 meals.
Yeah.
For each dollar that you donate. So if you kind of quantify that, I mean, we're looking at a pretty good number of meals that you're being a part of, and you get to eat your own gourmet barbecue meal while you're there.
Barbecue with a New Mexico flair.
With a New Mexico flair from the homies over at Hacienda de Lucia.
That's right. That's right. That's how we do it down here.
Yeah, and that's the cool part about this whole thing too, is that I love is that it's just a lot of collaboration here between some folks that really care about this community to try to do something good. I know they've had a few other events that have been very successful. We hope this one's as successful, but we're appreciative for the opportunity. I think it's a great way to start the weekend, a long weekend that's coming up for a lot of folks. So give that number a call. Like I said, it's 575-652-4953. And remember that it's going to Casa Peregrinos, and we've been here for a long time, and it's because of you, this community, that keeps us going. We'll be here as long as you'll have us here, as long as there's a need, which that's not going to go away anytime soon. We're going through some very tough times right now economically, but we're here right now. Our doors are open. We're glad to be a part of this community, and we're very proud to be a part of this community.
Well, Lorenzo, I'm very excited for yours. I'm not able to go because I'm already committed to a graduation ceremony, but I think, what you do in the community is so important. And we're going to see, as we continue to head out of the pandemic, we're going to see people who are going to still need to have healthy food, and the work that and the services that you provide there at Casa de Peregrinos. And when you have your new building open, we did the groundbreaking for that, which was very exciting. And I can't wait to do the ribbon cutting for that and see that drive through. Thank you for all that you do in this community. And also please thank all of your staff, because I know that it's not just you. It's that incredible crew that you've got there at Casa de Peregrinos. And they're wonderful folks. And so we'll have the information about where you can buy your tickets to the red, white, and blue barbecue, or the red, white, and barbecue for Casa de Peregrinos at Hacienda de Mesilla. It's going to be taking place Thursday night at 7:00. And so we'll have the information either above or below, all depending on how you're looking at this. And Lorenzo, thank you so much. It's always good seeing you, and it's always good catching up. So I appreciate all the work that you do, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.